Welcome back. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome you again to 10 days, 10 classes, 10 minutes, and I am going to be talking about frankincense today. Seems rather fitting with the season of goodwill and Christmas time and all that to be talking about a wonderful and beautiful and amazing oil called frankincense. It is an oil that I absolutely adore. It's an oil that I use every day. And I just want to tell you a little bit more about it. So there are actually 4 species now. Emily Wright did an announcement the other day of frankincense species that are actually included in our frankincense oil blend. It's actually kind of a species blend, or Boswellia essential oil blend. And so we have Boswellia carterii, we have Freriana, we have Sacra, and we have the new one that's called Papyrifera, I think is how you pronounce it. Papyrifera. I had to make some notes on this. So our oils are sourced, or these particular Boswellia species are sourced from Oman, from Somalia, and now the new one, Papyrifera, from Ethiopia. And they're all sourced under the co-impact sourcing model, which is really wonderful. And basically that model means that we are working on the ground with the distillers, with the harvesting community there, and we're making a huge difference to their lives, enriching them on an educational front, whether it comes to medical facilities, hospitals that are being built, and so forth. So doTERRA is having a wonderful impact in an otherwise very impoverished region. The frankincense tree, grows in these really arid regions that, as I think David Sterling alluded to once in one of the conventions, you go back thousands of years in time when you visit these regions, there is just nothing there. And so these trees grow, and what the harvesters do is they score the bark off the tree, and then they wait for the sap to come out. And the sap is dried, and that is essentially the resin, and that resin is then processed to produce our essential oil. It's distilled from the resin, and that's how we get it. So the frankincense oil has been revered for thousands of years. I mean, 3000 BC, I think, were sort of early records show that it's been found in tombs, Egyptian tombs. The Papyrus Ebers, which is one of the early documents, actually makes reference to it being used to treat particular ailments. So it has been an oil, and it's been a product that has been around for many, many years. And if you want to do some, find out more of where it comes from and how the history of it, of the frankincense and its trail, the frankincense trail, there's actually a beautiful BBC series that was produced some years ago, and you can find it on YouTube. I think it comes in about 2 or 3 parts, and it is just simply called the Frankincense Trail. And it really traces the roots and follows the track, the 2,400 mile track of frankincense spanning from India all the way to Jordan, to Petra in Jordan. And if you ever get the opportunity to go to Petra, it's the place where it's just sheer rock, and yet they've carved out an entire city out of rock or into the rock. And in the center of town is the treasury, and that's where the frankincense used to be stored, because it was so much more valuable than anything else that was around in those days, and it was used as a form of currency. So it was only kings and queens and priestesses that actually had access to it, and they used to burn it to create a white smoke. And the idea was that this white smoke takes the prayers into heaven. And what a beautiful way to to use the frankincense. We know that the way we recognize Egyptians is with the dark eyeliner under their eyes. And that is actually, well, we call it kohl, it's eyeliner, I suppose. But in ancient days, kohl, K-O-H-L, used to be charred frankincense. So you know, it's been used for many, many thousands of years. So a little bit of chemistry on frankincense oil, going right into modern research and into modern ways of looking at essential oils and doing all sorts of beautiful tests. We can do amazing tests on these oils to assure that the purity is there, to ensure that all the compounds are there. And frankincense now, with the addition of papyrifera, I think that's how you pronounce it, which has got 200 components of its own, it creates a really complex chemistry in our beautiful blend that we get in our beautiful frankincense oil. So what do these, what are these components mainly consist of? Well, they're mainly monoterpenes. And one of those main components is, alpha-pinene, which is, through research, again, we know that it's very anti-inflammatory, it's very antibacterial, it's antifungal, quite frankly, it's anti a lot of things. So we have a saying, if in doubt, bring Frankie out. And as Keith, my husband, likes to say, don't get cranky, bring out Frankie. So it's obviously beautiful for emotional support as well. But the alpha-pinene is, really revered because it's very, very calming on the body. It supports the whole body, but we really like it particularly for its influence on the brain. So it's very, very calming, on the brain. There is another monoterpene that's in the as one of those constituents, and that is called limonene, D-limonene in particular. But limonene, we know, is generally associated with lemon oil, but there's been a lot of research of limonene in conjunction with cancer. So you can do your own research and you can, Google it yourself. But what it will tell you in essence is that our body is exposed to lots of environmental threats, things that happen in our immediate epigenetic environment. And those influences do take its toll on our body. And they do that, unfortunately, on a cellular level. They disrupt the DNA. They disrupt the way the DNA is expressed. They disrupt the way the DNA behaves and what happens within the cell. And then we have free radicals that creating all this damage on the cells. And what limonene does is it protects, it creates a safe environment, and it adjusts and amends the DNA. It repairs the DNA because it knows how the DNA should be, what the balanced DNA should look like. And frankincense just creates that balance. And that is absolutely, amazing, even to understand and to comprehend that this ancient oil, this ancient wisdom works today, and it works on that cellular level where we really need it. So where we use it topically is one of the fabulous ways to use it. I love it to just add 1 drop to your moisturizer in the evening or in the morning or in the morning, and it will help for beautification, and it's been used for thousands of years. It's wonderful for, for blemishes. It is wonderful for skin repair, for wounds. A beautiful home help spray is using a 15 ml bottle. Don't ever throw these bottles away, 15 ml bottles. Save them. Put between 5 to 10 drops of frankincense into it, with 5 to 10 drops of lavender and 5 to 10 drops of tea tree oil. And that's a beautiful home help oil blend that you've created that you can just have on standby for those emergencies when kids fall down and they leave a little bit of skin on the ground or on the bitumen or wherever. It can be used when those chronic sores that don't want to heal, that often appear associated with certain illnesses. It could be something like, sores that are created when people lie down for extended periods of time. So that's when you use that home help spray, which is absolutely wonderful. I love frankincense in conjunction with peppermint and with lavender. It's very, very soothing, for head tension, for any sort of neck ache. It's very, beautiful to use if you just put 1 drop of frankincense into your hand. You dab your thumb in it, and then you take that to the roof of your mouth, and that obviously then gets straight to the brain to create, beautiful stillness and calmness there. 1 drop before yoga will help you to keep your body calm and limber, and will extend your practice into something that you really want. I love it in what I call the Goddess blend. This is Vanessa Jean's signature blend. I've renamed it Goddess blend, and you just use 1 drop or 2 drops of lavender, frankincense and wild orange, and you put that together with some fractionated coconut oil, and then you apply that on your body after your shower, and it will make you feel like a goddess. Aromatically, it's amazing, and it's been used, as I said, for religious practices for thousands of years, still is for the Roman Catholic faith. They're using it during their Mass, but also in Jewish ceremonies. It's, you know, wonderful for prayer and for meditation. Diffuse it. It creates calmness and stillness, you know, in the house. And it's the oil of truth on that emotional level. So it allows you to connect with the divine, with the Father, whether that's your heavenly Father or your earthly Father. It allows you to get rid of negativity and deceit and you know, lies and all of those sort of things that don't serve you, and allows you to connect to your inner being, to your inner soul, to your inner self. And so it's a beautiful oil, you know, to use from that, for that. And just, you know, diffuse it, or just do a palm diffusion, put it in your hand, and then cup that over your nose. Now I just want to quickly touch on our 200-point offer that's on this month. Make sure that you can get your free bottle of frankincense this month. Just place a 200-point order and it will appear in your purple box as it makes its way to your home. Love you all. I hope you enjoyed a little bit about frankincense today. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.